Pro-Chancellor. It is hard to imagine a higher education institution inspiring one of its students to become a stand-up comedian, unless maybe its motto is Finem Respice and it goes by the name of Poppleton. Nonetheless, this is exactly what the solemn cathedral of learning called Brunel University, despite its promotion of intellectual gravitas, seems to have done to Lee Mack when he was an undergraduate student of drama with film and TV studies in the early 1990s. Indeed, Lee decided to do his first stand-up performance in 1994, shortly after becoming a Brunel student. Speaking in 2008, Lee stated, I quote, "I could very easily be a 40-year-old bloke, which I'm now, without ever having done it." That stand-up, that is. Brunel helped me with that. It taught me to get on with things, unquote. Maybe Lee was encouraged by the fact that the 5-minute performance piece that he had to do by way of audition in front of a group of students immediately persuaded Brunel's course conveners to offer him a place, although by his own admission, he'd actually stolen someone else's joke. In any case, and for obvious reasons, you'll understand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually reluctant to interpret the words as just another foolhardy bravura gag. In any case, Lee's arrival as a mature student on the venerable grounds of our university proved to be a highly momentous, dare I say, life-changing event. As Lee disclosed to another Brunel student, quote, "Nothing has excited me more in my performing life than reading my acceptance letter from Brunel. I remember jumping on the bed. It was absolute ecstasy. I kept the letter for years. It was such a big thing for me," unquote. Now, putting the inspirational power of our institution into perspective, I think it's only fair to say that the funny man had already been gestating long before Lee's university years. Born in Southport in 1968, Lee spent his the first 12 years of his life as, and I'm using his own quote here, quite a swotty kid. Until his teachers observed, no doubt blaming a prepubescent endocrine eruption, until his teachers observed, quote, that he had started to joke around a lot in class, unquote. Yet to demonstrate how he was still entirely committed to his studies, he spent a whole year mastering the fine art of plastic works, eventually producing a red keyring with the acronym LFC, Liverpool Football Club, because he was such a strong supporter of Blackburn Rovers. In the end, respice finem, Lee left Stanley High School with 2 O-levels, no solid job prospects, and an ardent desire to become a comedian, although he actually admits to not having a clue what that meant. In the end, respice finem, Lee looked after the honorable features of Red Rum. He was only 3 years his senior, but already retired after an unprecedented career in the Grand National. Lee entertained holidaymakers at Pontins. He even dreamt of being a professional darts player, and in the end he moved to Australia in order to become a bit worldly wise. Flash forward. In 1995, 5 years after his 9-year drift in search of comedy, Lee succeeded Martin Treneman as the winner of So You Think You're Funny, the annual competition for new stand-up comedy acts at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. During the following 5 years, he completed his Brunel degree, graduating in 1996, and returned to the Edinburgh Festival with various ensemble and solo shows, one of which was nominated for the festival's greatest accolade, the Perrier Award. Then came ITV's BAFTA-winning The Sketch Show, Radio 2's The Lee Mack Show, which was nominated for a Sony Award, and his hosting of BBC One's They Think It's All Over. In 2005, Lee created and co-wrote Not Going Out, in which he stars as a demotivated, unambitious, and unemployed former ice cream man called Lee. Since its premiere on the 6th of October 2006, Not Going Out has become one of the most successful British sitcoms, winning the Breakthrough Award and the Rose d'Or in 2007 and the RTS Television Award in 2008. Since its first airing, the show has been sold to 120 countries, and Lee is currently working on a 6th series, which is scheduled for broadcasting in 2013. In addition to his work on Not Going Out, Lee has appeared as the team captain on the BBC's Would I Lie to You? He's been a host on Have I Got News for You? And Never Mind the Buzzcocks, and he has been a regular guest on Channel 4's 8 out of 10 Cats. Alongside his television appearances, Lee has pursued an immensely successful career as a stand-up comedian. His 2006 tour was a nationwide sellout sensation, which resulted in the release of the DVD Lee Mack Live, now also available with optional swearing. In a promotional front cover blurb, the eminent Metro journalist, I've never heard of her, Mickey Noonan wrote, quote, "If it's a barrel of belly laughs and achy jaw muscles you're after, Lee Mack cuts to the funny bone like a knife," unquote. In the spring of 2010, Lee took his second tour, entitled Going Out, to various high-profile, sold-out venues across the country. A DVD of the show, filmed at London's Hammersmith Apollo, was released in November 2010 to great critical acclaim. Since then, Lee has entertained the audience at the Royal Variety performance, he's launched Lee Mack's all-star cast for the BBC, and he's appeared, of course, as one of the compares at the Queen's Diamond Jubilee concert in front of Buckingham Palace on the 4th of June this year. When a Brunel journalism student asked Lee a question about the secret of his extraordinary success, his response was as simple as it was serious. Quote, "Hard work is everything," unquote. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Brunel inspired Lee to take the funny man inside him onto the stage, then maybe the seriousness with which he approaches his comedy and the dedication that he has shown to his art may also serve as an inspiration to us all, regardless of our aspirations and wherever life may take us. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Pro-Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding services to the arts, I am delighted to present to you Mr. Lee Mack for the degree of Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa.
By my authority as Pro-Chancellor, I admit Lee Mack to the degree of Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa of Brunel University. Many thanks.
Do I speak now?
Indeed you do.
All right. Well, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the university, ladies and gentlemen, I have performed at some grand do's in my time, but you know when you're doing a posh gig, when the bloke before you has used the punchline, unless its motto is fine and respect and it goes by the name of Poppleton. I have absolutely no idea what that gag meant, but it's not going to catch on as a catchphrase. Now, at first I was worried about this award, and I'll be the first to say I don't know why I was given it, and then I realised, listening this morning, with the pronunciation of some of your names, that it was just because mine was easy to say. But I actually genuinely was worried about receiving it, and because I thought, well, I've not actually done it. You're reaping the rewards of years of work, and obviously I've just swanned in here today, having done very little. But then I thought, well, my original degree was in drama, so I'm sort of used to that feeling anyway. And it might sound a bit Dickensian. I actually left school at 15, and it is true that I only left school with 2 O-levels. And I did know that I wanted to become a stand-up comedian, though, and the thought of doing it absolutely terrified me. So I spent the next 10 years looking for excuses to avoid getting up in the morning and doing it, and just having a go, looking at ways of not motivating myself to do it, just lying in bed dreaming of performing and not actually bothering to do anything about it. And then one day I thought, hang on, excuses, not being motivated, lying in bed, it was obvious. I'll become a student. So at the age of 25, I auditioned for the drama course here at Brunel University, where I did a 5-minute excerpt from A Chip in the Sugar by Alan Bennett. Because that's a good idea, isn't it? If you've never acted in your life or ever been on stage, what easier way to start than playing a repressed homosexual with a history of mental health problems? But sure enough, a few months later, I received a letter saying I'd been accepted here at Brunel University. Actually, that isn't strictly true, because when I started on my course, the campus I was studying at was actually called St Margaret's, West London Institute of Higher Education. But thankfully, during the 3 years, it became part of Brunel University. I say thankfully because obviously West London Institute of Higher Education make it sound like I went to an adult learning centre for the illiterate, whereas Brunel suggested that I was now able to build an internal combustion engine, so that was handy. I couldn't, obviously, I'd done drama, but I could certainly represent one in the form of expressive dance, and that's worth more. So I spent 3 happy years studying at Brunel University. It gave me not only the push to do what I do now, but it also was the place I met my lovely wife, Tara. So I'm not only grateful for the education and the start in my career that this fantastic university clearly gave me, I also hold it fully responsible for the fact that I now have 3 screaming bloody kids. So it's a genuine pleasure to receive this honorary degree, and I'm very grateful to those who decided I should receive it. Thank you very much. Thank you.